welcome back to Clumsy Cakes. My name's Amy. So today on the channel we're going to be making baklava. To start, I'm just doing some prep work. I'm just taking a vegetable peeler and peeling off some of the zest of this lemon. I'm taking about 5 slices, and you want to make sure that you only get the yellow part. You don't scrape down to the white part because that part's bitter. So just the yellow. First thing we're going to do is make the syrup, and I'm making this first even though it's going to go on last because we wanted to have plenty of time to cool. So I'm just simply taking some sugar, some water, and some honey and boiling that until the sugar dissolves and the mixture thickens up a little bit to the consistency of maple syrup. Once that happens, you're just going to take it off the heat and add in your lemon and your cinnamon sticks, and then cover that and let it cool completely. Now we're going to make our baklava filling. A lot of people use different nuts for this. Some people use pistachios, some people use pecans, some people use walnuts. I've even seen some people use almonds, but I decided to go with a mixture of pecans and walnuts. I ground those up pretty finely with some bigger chunks mixed in as well. I also added brown sugar to this recipe as well as granulated sugar because I thought that the texture would work really well in here. A lot of times when you add brown sugar to something, it makes it chewier, which I thought would be great in this recipe. But also brown sugar tends to make things a little bit more syrupy, and that didn't work well for this recipe because it already has a lot of syrup on top, so that just made it too soggy. So just go with all granulated sugar. So here we go, here comes the interesting part, layering all of this together. We're going to use some phyllo dough for this. If you've never seen or worked with phyllo dough before, it's essentially sheets of very, very thin dough. I'm talking, I don't even know how this dough was made, it's that thin. If you've ever seen the pages of a Bible, that's how thin these sheets are. It's crazy. So because they're so thin, they rip very, very easily, and they also dry out super easily. So you need to keep a damp kitchen towel or damp paper towel on top of these at all times, just to make sure that they don't dry out. But mostly what you're going to need for this is patience. I'm just putting my pan that I'm going to use over the dough and trimming the dough. We just don't want too much excess. A little bit of excess is fine, you can just tuck that under, but too much excess will just make this kind of a mess. Now it's time to get to buttering and layering. I'm just taking some melted butter. You want about a pound of melted butter. I used about 3 sticks, but just to be safe, melt about a pound of butter. So you're going to just generously coat the bottom and the sides of the pan. And now we're going to start layering. You want to layer 8 layers on the bottom with melted butter in between. And then you want to put filling, and then 6 layers of phyllo, and then more filling, and then another 6. And then more filling, and then 8 layers on the top. I'm gonna cry. Look at that. Look at it. And now here, I'm struggling so horribly because my sheets of phyllo were a little bit dried out. Like I said, you have to have your damp paper towel on these at all times because they dry out in a second. So just save yourself the headache and just make sure that they're on there at all times. You know, I was telling people
yesterday that I'm gonna make baklava, and they're like, oh, you're gonna cry. And I'm like, I have not cried while baking in like months. I'll be fine. I'm not fine. I wanna cry. Layer.
Try to dab the butter and not brush as much as you can, because especially in that first layer after the filling, it's gonna want to slide around and rip, and you don't want that to happen. So dabbing the butter on there with your pastry brush will work a lot better.
Okay. See, this is why we don't brush, kids. Because the layer right after the filling is evil.
Now we're gonna put this in the fridge for 1 hour to firm the whole thing up. Now I'm just pre-slicing this before it goes in the oven. I'm making some cuts the long way, and then I turn it diagonally and do some cuts that way. You want to make sure that you are kind of rocking your knife instead of just taking the knife and sliding your way down the baklava, because the sheets will come with it, and then you'll just have a big mess. Now you just want to bake this at 350 for about 40 to 45 minutes or until golden brown. While your baklava is fresh out of the oven and still piping hot, you want to pour that cooled syrup right on top. You want to try to direct it right into the cracks. And you want enough syrup so that it goes up to about halfway up the sides of the baklava, and then you want to leave it for about 6 hours to absorb all of that syrupy goodness. And that is it. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys like this one, don't forget to leave me a like down below. If you have any suggestions for what you would like to see next, leave it down in the comments down below. And subscribe to make more messes with me, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye. And also, if you are subscribed, don't forget to hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my new videos. Also, I just want to let you guys know I'm taking a little break here. There'll be no video next week. I have some family coming in and I just want to spend some time with them. Okay, bye.